No, my life has been totally interrupted, but I'm not Rosie and I don't have all this money and I could just fly out of the country because trust government will stop me in some which way, shape, or form. And I can figure out all these different evil ways that they would. So I don't have that freedom. I never had that freedom, Rosie. I don't know. And like she somehow thinks the world was wonderful up until Trump. I'm just like, no, honey. A lot of people have been suffering because of the Dems as well. There's no good person in this story. Mostly mine. They all came out and I figured it out. Y'all be a piece of shit. Y'all be a piece of shit, man. The thing that's really pissing me off about her comment, it's not even that. I just do not like America and I'm moving out because everybody's a piece of shit, because I totally agree. So fine, fine, fine. It's the fact that she goes, y'all keep, fight the good fight. And when you guys are done doing all the hard work for me, as I do nothing, I might come back after that. After about like 20 million people get killed. Once that's done and everything, I might come back to America. And I'm just like, oh, hell no. This is the affluent white woman. That thing right there. I'm saying if the presentation was a little different, it wouldn't be so bad. Because I think there's a lot of us out here that are like, yeah, it'd be nice to leave to another country because America's always been shit. And I believe it's always going to be shit. And I'm leaving. I'm not going to tell people to bust their ass and do the hard work. And then I might come back after I didn't do nothing. It's that. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that I didn't say everything on that story. Oh, we'd be here all day. We'd be here all day. I've been making references to some of the conduct. Yeah, so mostly on Instagram. It's like massive over there. But I see that some people had been reading it. Kind of amazing, huh? I know it's annoying to go through that. I don't even know if it's in order when I'm typing all that stuff out. I always hope it is, but good luck with that. But it's like inner information. Yeah. So it's more for, the people where it matters. But if you read it, wonderful. And if you understand it, great. You should understand it. I'm trying to do it in the proper way because I cannot do videos on these things all the time. That's just too much. I got stuff to do here. Apparently people think I don't run businesses. I don't do anything. And you could just wake me up in the morning and throw weird shit out at me, and you're not gonna get a sweet girl at that time. Okay. One of the things that they did, oh God. So I was talking about the broken windows thing. Okay, so one of the things that they did here, well, first of all, when I moved, apparently, here's the alleged thing about this property, which is kind of interesting. It used to be a nasty ass frat house or something like that. I don't know. And there was a lot of party conduct, some weird shit up in here. I know nothing about it. Then somebody got the property and just started doing something illegal to it. Okay, like very illegal. So bad that I feel, not only do I feel raped, I feel like I just raped somebody else yesterday. I gotta explain how this build is done, so you guys kind of understand something. This is a fucking house, okay? You cannot just put up walls out of fucking nowhere and then lie. They lie. Okay, so there's an extension of this lie, which makes it even worse because I'm a music person. We've recorded in music studios. I'm going to ask you this. If somebody tells you something is soundproof, we kind of expect that if you say something, you can't hear on the other side of the wall, and nor should you. But saying something is soundproof, that's an addition. So you're saying soundproof, that you can't hear anywhere. The only portions that is soundproof is by the front door, which is the portion that faces outside to the, outside. Wall has to be made, I don't know, somewhat differently, because that's the structure of the house. That is fairly soundproof, because when I first moved in, I was noting, I guess it was raining and windy and all kinds of crap. I didn't even know anything was going on outside. And apparently I go open the door and I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And then you see all this stuff going on. You hear the wind and the rain and, it's a nightmare outside. I go, how strange. I can't hear a damn thing inside from that. So that portion is fine. That's the only soundproof portion of this place. The rest of it, you could hear everybody using the bathroom. And to me, this is like a perversion thing. Because I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And why would anybody do this to anybody? Was there originally a plot to be able to listen through the walls at people in their most intimate moments? I mean, I have no idea, but it's disgusting. And I know that my place has this major issue, okay? And then you can hear people laughing on the other side. Yeah. It's disgusting, you guys. So last night, I hadn't hanged out in anybody's units long enough to hear this. So last night, I'm talking to my neighbor, and this other neighbor come home, and he goes right to the bathroom, and we're in her front room. You hear everything. And when they flushed the toilet, it was like echoing into her front room. That's it. You could hear the whole thing. Like they're in the bathroom in her front room. And I go, you know what? That is effed up. And at no time did any renter that was in that property say anything. And there was quite a few people in that unit. I go, that is disgusting. No, that should not be going on at all. Because what's the difference between that and somebody going into somebody's restroom and putting a video camera? All you have to do is just sit there and tape them. I mean, what the hell? That's a rape of people's it's like it's a breach of your privacy. But to say that that is soundproof, it's like the complete opposite of soundproof. And that's for everybody here. Everybody here. Their bathrooms are made illegally. So I don't know about those two back ones, but whoever ever passed that thing. When I was telling the inspector, I go, yeah, you could hear everybody going to the bathroom. He just looked at me weird. I have audio of this contact. I have audio of everything because you have to give it to a lawyer. And I'm like, I cannot believe this has to be the most hands down worst illegal rental I've ever had. And those other ones are really bad, you guys. They're pretty bad. But I've never had a thing. Oh, I could hear everybody taking a piss. That's awesome. They could hear me doing everything, scratching my ass. They could hear me doing this audio. And they've been telling the owner private information. So he went into my phone and blew it up. So let me tell you what a swine he is for doing what he did. Okay, so these nasty people that used to live up front that caused us all hell on this property as is, moved in some guy that just busted out of prison and didn't tell the landlord, and then the guy himself wasn't technically the problem. This is the weird thing about the story. But they had so much drama there, the cops are here like every month, if not more. They were here all the time. And I was so annoyed by just that fact, okay? As you would, or you should. And she's telling the owner all kinds of weird lying ass stories and making up stuff that people are breaking into the property and they weren't, and just craziness, okay? And she should have had her kids taken away, going on like that. But, so they move out, finally. We're like this, we're like, oh, it's gonna be better now. Yeah, I was like also thinking, well, I kept trying to get them to help me out to get those people to come because I go, well, when they come, I don't know about your place and what's wrong with it, but you need to, let them in, and then we need to get that paperwork. Well, she just started making up stories, like literally making up stories. She's like, I got a lawyer. I go, you don't have a lawyer because the lawyer won't take it until the guy comes. I already know this process. They won't. You can't go to them and go, oh, my place is illegal. And then they're going to be like, how? Where's the proof? Right? So she tried to bullshit me. I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. I literally had to fight this like multiple times actually. And there were times I didn't even do that because I didn't even know how to do that. That was way, way back in the day. Everybody act like they're a know-it-all and they never did it. So I don't know what that is. They've never targeted this issue. That's why it's such a massive problem. And it's annoying the crap out of me. Because they're lazy, they're also bad people. I was like, these other people. Okay, let me get off because, oh God, we could go on a thing other. Okay, so they move out, right? The owner doesn't even tell me any of this bullshit, okay? He's like, can you look inside the property and then lock it? So they moved out and I looked inside and they left all their shit there. I mean, it wasn't like terribly bad, but it was like garbage and they've been there since 2020 and it wasn't cleaned. They had some furniture. They had a gun case in there and I go, first of all, the guy's out of prison. He's not even supposed to have a gun. So why is this here? They leave that. It's bizarre. Leave all their shit in there. And he's like, locked all the doors. And so we lock all the doors. What happens? That night, we don't have a key or anything. He takes off with the keys. A fucking alarm goes off. And it's loud as shit in my place. Loud. I mean, loud. Beep. This thing. And I go, oh shit. Do they have a fire going? Is there something going? What is that? That's a carbon alarm. Holy crap. Maybe shit. You know, because they had a stove that he never fixed that had a knob missing. So it's hard to tell when it's off. And I was thinking, oh man, we didn't even check all that. Maybe that's what happened. So I text him, right? I go, you need to come over here right now and unlock that thing. And there's an alarm going off nonstop. And he's like, it's too late at night. I was like, no way. So me and the other neighbor found a way to break in because what happened was, I guess they broke a window there and he never fixed it. I think technically it was for them to fix because they broke it. But regardless, there was a broken window. And she crawled through it and turned it off when we called the fire department. So because it was the carbon alarm. Yeah, so then they tell us that it was so old, and it's like no surprise to us that something would be so old here and broken down that he needs to replace it. So what I did was I left the alarm. I told him, I go, you have to get a brand new one, and I'm leaving it right here. And the fire department said you need to throw this out and buy a new one. So I lay it on the counter, and for them to know which one to get, it's just, I mean, you could get any which one, but yeah. So then they were supposed to throw it out. Well, I should have just threw it out because I think what he did was put new batteries in it and put it back on. Because another night after these people moved in, the fucking alarm went off again. And I texted him. I go, this thing is going off. It's fucking 3 a.m. And nobody turned it off. Everybody's ignoring the text. So they want to come and disrupt my fucking life with this kind of garbage. Yeah, oh, trust he would totally put new batteries in it after the fire department said throw it out. So, I don't know what the hell that was. So, both of them ignored it. The people where that alarm was at, the newer people, and him. And so then, before they moved in, he doesn't even tell me he's moving in all these people. And they come here. This is so illegal, you guys. I don't even know what the fuck. So, he moves them in. I heard them up there doing some stuff. So I thought, oh, they had the cleaning people come. What are the things you guys, this is common sense. If you had a property to rent, what do you do with the property? If somebody moves in, you check the property before they move in, right? Like nothing's broken, nothing's this, and this is like that. So when they leave, if something's wrong, if something's like up and over, you know, whatever, you guys could debate all that. So then after people leave, what do people do, right? They clean it. You have to clean it. How disgusting would that be if you don't clean the place, right? Typically they paint walls. Mostly if somebody's been in there for years. They were there since 2020. The walls needed to be painted. Touch-ups. It had holes in the wall, average. It wasn't like, you know, abusive holes in the wall or something. It was like just, you know, putting stuff in the walls. So you need to cover those up. It needed a new carbon alarm. It needed probably a new fire alarm. And I noticed they built a bathroom that shouldn't have been there. It was not, I'm almost 1,000% sure it was not there when I moved in here. And it started to explain the story of how horrible things are here and why. They basically built like a bathroom and a closet or or it was a hallway. We're not sure. I don't have the layout yet from that thing. I'm going to contact them later about that. No, I was telling them, I go, yeah, that, there's photos of the original And no. So they built okay, so I how to explain it to you guys. Basically, they breached the wall where that should have never been built. Okay, that's just number one. So that it's not even insulated. It's like they just put piping and put like a board down and covered it up. That's it. That's why you would hear through all that. Yeah. Okay, so in addition to that, he put an extension beyond the door where, like, say there would be a closet. This one's interesting. So then he put an extension into their front room to build a shower. And I was like, I'm almost sure that was not there before. Because I had to go inside. The reason is because I had to go in the house there. And we did all the paperwork to my place inside that house. And when I moved in, I never heard or saw any of that shit. There was none of this going on. So I was like, oh my God. So before he moved in the new people, I believe, and I was telling him, I think it was in 2020, but because I heard all this construction and I thought, oh, they're just fixing the place up before, the other people, maybe there's plumbing issues because I don't even know what's on the other side. Right now I was like, oh, I have no idea. I know they're doing all this work. All this fucking work. Illegal work. I was like, illegal work. I didn't even know this. So I was like, oh my God. So they pop up. He's not here. Why is he not here? He's the landlord. Isn't the landlord supposed to take care of his fucking property? Or the one property he's supposed to be taking care of because it's not legally under his name. But anyway, that kind of thing. Okay. So he's not here. He makes me, he's like, can you give the keys to the people moving in? I'm like, okay. And I give it to him and he's like, oh, you know what? I should probably get a lease from them. I'm like, oh no, what? I don't know. This is the weirdest thing ever. I was like, who moves in people without a lease? I mean, you're asking for it. They could say, I don't have to pay anything. You agreed for me to live here for free. Absolutely. But I was like, okay. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just this, that, the other. Anyway, so I let him in and I'm horrified. I'm horrified, you guys. You don't even, this is so illegal. It's not even funny. Just to do that conduct right there. So he didn't lift a finger to clean the place at all. He just moved people out and he moved them right in. So you go into the shower and they had their like shaver things on the floor, the shampoo. The window was broken in the front of the property. It wasn't repainted. There was dirty dishes in the dishwasher. There was dirty food in the refrigerator. It was like somebody just lived there. And then dirty food in the, old spoiled food in the refrigerator, the freezer. The microwave was filthy as hell. Dirty stuff in the dishwasher. There was when we first went in there, me and another neighbor actually tried to take out what was in this pantry thing. Because they had a shitload of like spices and some weird thing. But the pantries were filthy, had food in there. There was garbage in the garbage area. There was tons of cleaning supplies all over the place. Just like somebody just moved out. That's it. He didn't touch it. You know how disgusting that is? I have never seen anybody do that. I honest to God, not even mop the floor. Not even like the slight attempt. It was that they picked up and moved, and he's like, hey guys, here's the key, go move in. I was like, oh no way. And I'm standing there, so it's like on me kind of, because I'm just like, oh yeah, see anything wrong with that? Yeah, and the front light didn't work on the porch. The doors were busted in because the cops kicked in one door. There was like a number of things. So I was telling the guy, I go, yeah, I would tell him. I would tell him. So what they did, they said, you know what? You need to fix all that before we move in. I mean, at least they did that. So then he skirts around doing all the fixes here. So one of the other problems was opening the gate. My AC unit breaks down. They were supposed to fix that. So now I'm left without an AC or a heater. I never had a heater, which is a, if you rent any place, you have to by law have a heater. Okay. That's just the thing in it. And at no time did any inspector here care that there's no heater. An AC is definitely a necessary in this property. But yeah, beyond that, he did not fix any of those things because he's a slumlord. So their places were the original places that was infested with cockroaches. Okay. They never told the owner initially, but the owner lied to me and told me they get exterminator every month. This is what he told me. It was never true. It was never true. I go, I can't believe this guy's bald-faced lying to me like this. I have no idea why, but we find the lies out later. So I don't know the lies as they're going, okay? He's like, oh, yeah, you didn't see the exterminator there? He comes every month. I was like, do you need him to come into your place? I go, if we start seeing roaches here, yes, you need to be on top of that. And he's like, okay. And then the next thing you know, no exterminator. The place is getting infested with not only cockroaches, but black widows, vermin, like all kinds of weird things, okay? Luckily, I haven't seen any rats up in here, but you're talking about the external part of the property that also needs to be exterminated. So another addition to that was happening was we had a massive wasp nest everywhere because, again, he does not take care of his property because he's a slumlord. And they tell me up front that he took off out of the country. I'm like, well, he didn't tell me that. When he called me, he goes, oh, I don't want to go over there to do this key thing. He's like, I'm too tired. Well, if you're out of the country, it doesn't matter if you're too tired. You can't fucking get here. So he's lying to everybody, but I keep telling them, I go, he lies. You don't even, he'll sit there and get you all into it. I'm this good, Muslim man. I'm all this shit. I would never do that to you. And he'd go and do this evil shit. He thinks that everybody that he knows too should live in slum and should give him fucking money. He does this to his friends. People he fucking knows. That's the pile of shit that guy is. I can't believe, I haven't met anybody this fucking terrible in a long time. Greed. That's disgusting. And why did he get away? How did he get away? Oh, he's a construction dude. He knows how to get around those laws. Why is he texting me? What's he freaked out about? If you're ignorant, you don't know what the fuck you did. You're a calculated fucking criminal. That's the shit was going on. He come over here and threaten me? He's a fucking predator. The stories on this perverted doctor now is absolutely outrageous. Him and sex with like minors and people trying to set up to have, I don't know, you guys. The stories on that guy is even worse than this piece of shit. No wonder they would go into business together, two shitty-ass motherfuckers together. Preying on women. And this is a fucking pill doctor? His patients are addicts. He be feeding that, paying them, doing weird shit to do illegal conduct. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. It went beyond. Weird stories are being sent to me, but sometimes you have to be able to validate those. I cannot validate those stories. But they're pretty believable when you meet this piece of shit. He's disgusting. He's the one that took my money during COVID when they started pretending that, I'm telling you guys, we thought the place went into foreclosure. Nobody was here. Nobody was on the property. Nobody took care of the property. There was no gardener, nothing. It was overgrown, unlivable. Roaches came. Okay, they're going to come. When you have some shit like that, you need to take care of your property. It's not for me. So if an inspector comes and passes that shit up, that's an even deeper problem. This isn't, oh, we're ignorant. We didn't see it. We didn't know. We had no idea the laws. Oh, this shit. This is a very vindictive, evil act. And I sent all this information to the agency, to 2 different agencies at those times as it was going on. You want to treat me like I'm a crazy person? You're going to see how crazy is going to go on your ass when you get a fucking lawsuit. Like, they think it's all a joke. Do you not see that I had a lawyer and we just sue the fuck out of these other people? Like, I keep saying, I don't want to go through that again. But for me, I'm going to get me some money because people want to rip me off, fuck my business up, and sit there and do this shit, knowingly do this shit. This is LA County that fucking did this shit. You didn't give a shit about fire victims. They weren't rich people in mansions. What is this shit? Don't sit there trying to price gouge me with some 25K fucking shithole. You think you're gonna sit there and get away with sending me some shit like that and I'm not gonna be mad? I'm not gonna be mad. And fucking wake me up. I work here. I can't work here now. This place is a pile of shit, illegal crap. Oh, and to further this conduct, I should add, the people that know these people, like personally and grew up with their family members, led me into some other information here to where our money's going as well, to their affluent, spoiled brat, misogynist son, who daddy takes care of, who's a popular YouTuber that spends his time on here putting out and spreading out some hardcore, religious nutty shit to the right and degrades women all day long. So we could validate the gender-based targeting attacks here and how disgusting these people are. It's something that the other people here did not know either. So yes, they rake in even more money online and daddy take care of them in a house and all this stuff. They are not what was brought up into my thing here. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, where let's say somewhere in Compton, somebody got a house and, everybody's trying to help each other out. There's some different situations here. They need to be helped, okay? Nobody under any circumstance should live in slum. Under any circumstance. There's not, because they're poor, you need to be okay in slum. This is the mentality going on right now with LA County, and it's been going on. And what I'm saying is that if they have a problem with housing, when you think about this, if they have a problem with housing, and some of the barriers are because homeowners want it and need, it's a job, okay? Renting your property is a business. It's a money-making business, and it has turned into the worst business ever, as you see, with all the gentrification stuff and everything else. But it's a business, and so if you have somebody that is struggling in a lower income area or something, then the county needs to help them to get a place up to the permits and the codes, right? To be livable to rent. They need to get assistance for that. One of the problems that they are talking about is the cost of the permits and things like that. I think Newsom touched on that, but I'm not sure. Something came up. So, yes, I don't think it's fair that rich people could just whip it out every fucking day of the week. And, you have these other areas where nobody, who sits there and looks at this property that's all pile of shit and goes, this is how I want to live? I don't think that most people, unless you're a drug addict, wants to live like that. The problems are the income portions and everything. And so this kind of pushes into a black market of things, and anybody that falls into it is a victim of it. And you need to look at that area and how to fix that. That's what I was trying to say. It's not the same thing as, you're watching HGTV that come in, get a property, fix it all up, and then sell it for like another $1 million on top of what it was. No, we're talking about people having the properties that they have right now, and this guy's not in need. Okay, these people are just pure greed. Okay, this is just a different group of people. But if you're looking at somebody like in East LA, let's say East LA, because there was a lot of areas out there, that some of the people that had owned these properties for a long time and they need to generate newer income, but when they go into that permit office, it's just ridiculous. Like, I think I'm not sure, because I know that one of the costs for one of the permits here was $25K. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, people pay that much to redo their kitchens. You know what I mean? Like that's quite a chunk. And that's just to get a permit. You have to get multiple permits, I think, to do all these different areas, right? So the average person cannot just whip that out. So if there's an issue there and they're wanting more housing, they need to go into that area and help those homeowners that want to do that. And then it opens up a door for um, affordable housing, because those ADUs shouldn't be ridiculous amounts. Like, they should be pretty much on the market as the like a 2-bedroom or something apartment. Like, they're not unless you're on a freaking McMansion property. But you're looking at that because then it opens doors for other rentals. Like, they don't need to be all these like apartment buildings and everything. It's just what people can do on their property now, and then open up new rentals for other people, right? Affordable rentals for other people. Um, yeah. So I mean, I'm just going into that area a little bit, but yeah, no. But at no time, even regardless, I go, it should never be on me. Here's the focus. It's not my problem that somebody can't afford their property. Okay, then they shouldn't rent it out. If it's not legal, they shouldn't rent it out. But if they have barriers right there, then they need to deal with those barriers. And I'm all for them helping them out to get it like that. Because you don't want to be a victim in this, as I'm saying, because there's no legal runaround that I could do personally to force someone to put in a gas line, or, turn on the water and heater, any of that stuff, because it's illegal and there's no hookup. There's no separate hookup. And so that was the problem, and why they said contact the city council, because it's an issue out of my control. It's even out of a lawyer's control. Like, the lawyer can't go, turn it on, DWP, because it's not under my name. It's under one person, and legally on record, it says this one guy who doesn't live here, who none of us ever met. None of us. I don't even know who that guy is. I keep getting told who he is, but he's never set foot on this property, and this is his property. And he's letting his dad do this criminal conduct here along with some other business guy. And they put us all in the middle of it, and they chronically lie. They to everybody, to the closest friends of theirs, they lie. It is the craziest thing. I go, I know these people like the back of my hand now. For 7 years, you're going to talk over me? You don't know shit. If I've been with you for 7 years, just like the Alice camp, I knew them for 10 fucking years. How dare anybody come up in here and say shit? You don't know shit about nothing. So I know these people. They're terrible. They're monsters. They will go to your face and lie and say, oh, all this crap. The best one, you guys, to add this, because I wasn't going to put this on here, but oh my God, this is the most ridiculous. You know how people fake an illness? Okay. So I don't know if this actually really happened. So when I first moved in, he claimed that he fell over and had a heart attack. Now, he may have, who knows? I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God, the landlord's going to die right when I move in. That's nice. So then he starts in with, I have all these health problems. Okay, so now he'd be going on like that. But he come over here like he's on a rampage, like he's healthy as shit. So then when the DWP thing went down and the county was telling me they were making up names and falsifying names, oh God, I go, are they going to get arrested? I don't know how they didn't get arrested for that. They said they were using false names and trying to put accounts under fake names. I go, well, that's fraud. So I don't know. They didn't arrest him. And then, he starts sending, oh God, this was too funny though. He's like, it's going to be on today. And then it wasn't, right? And then the lady at front starts texting him, and he sends her a face. Oh God. He sends her a selfie and saying, I'm in the hospital. And he sends a selfie of himself sitting in a hospital. And she's like, he never ever said he went into the hospital. He's like, I'm supposed to be up for surgery. At no time did anybody tell us anybody going in for surgery or any bullshit, okay? And he says this, like, selfie, like, feel bad for me. I'm busy. I'm in the hospital. I go, this has to be the most ridiculous shit I have ever seen. He be playing all kinds of games. It is the craziest thing. He does it and everybody believes him. And I'm like, no, it's just bullshit. And then, yeah, and then we didn't have our electrical turn on that whole time. He was doing that, sending that. I have pictures of that. Oh my God, it was so ridiculous. And then, oh, and to tail off, because I didn't finish what my thought there. So I had give the doctor my money for the rent. And then he was getting other portions of, both of them were getting money. Okay, both of them were getting money. One was out of the country, and the other one showed up on the property. Well, they continually started lies with me by saying that's his brother, and apparently it was not. And then he tried to weasel his way into trying to explain what he meant by that. I go, no, you said that's your brother. He's like, we go to the same like thing together, and he's like my bro. I was like, no, you say to somebody that that's your brother, you're saying that's your brother. And he's like, well, and I was like, okay, so he lied to me and he's having me send money to this guy I don't even know. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to do that. Because they need to be able to follow the trails of he's the one under contract, the landlord. So I was like, that thing, I don't, and then I started finding out he was a criminal. And I was like, oh no, government's not gonna okay, so if the dude's a criminal and government's investigating him and they see me sending money to him, they don't know me, right? So they're just, if they're investigating stuff, these people are just going through stuff and they'll say, oh, somebody's giving him this much. I was going, oh yeah, that's not gonna look right. So I told I go, yeah, that thing right there. So, but we didn't know at the time. Let me explain that at that moment in time when I was sending my money to the doctor, they stopped paying for GWP. And they started charging us to do our laundry here because he was complaining. He's like, the water bill. The water bill actually isn't that bad considering how many people on this damn property, you guys. Like, really, when I was looking at it, I go, considering it would be big if I got that bill. But technically, with everybody paying, it's pretty low. And it's low because he gets solar power. So they don't pay that much for electrical. So the only cost is really water. And so he's like, the water, I'm going to put a lock on the hoses so nobody could use water here. Yeah, he had this thing at that moment in time. But we didn't know all this stuff in the background, right? Oh, the water bill. That's just too much. Like, I shouldn't have to pay anything. This is his mentality. I shouldn't have to pay a dime. Oh, we should put a lock. You can't wash your car here. Oh, you can't. Your laundry. Oh, I have to fix a washer. Oh, people use stuff. It breaks. Oh, you know what? You guys are going to all pay for it. I go, I don't even use the washer here most of the time because I have my own little thing. But I was like, you need to use it for larger, stuff. And I go, I never get to use it because everybody else uses it. There's too many people here to only be able to use one washer. Okay? And the people up front are supposed to have their own. And right now, no, that's not happening. So, and this washer right now has been broken for years and everybody still uses it. And I'm like, how disgusting is that? It's broken because the agitator does that move much. Okay. It's a waste of money. So he's just getting money from everybody. And nobody even cares about that. They do their laundry back there. They don't care it's broken. Or they don't know how a washing machine works. I don't know. But it's been broken the whole time. So he takes $1.50. And I tell them, I go, nobody has quarters here. The world has changed, you old fart. It's very hard to get change. And then he's like, really? I'll go get some right now. Because he's being a smartass. So he goes, and he comes back. He's like, yeah, I had problems. I can't get any. And then he doesn't change it. He doesn't fix that issue. He don't care. He wants money. That's it. He don't care about nobody else. Nobody else. He doesn't care about the health and safety of anybody. He be faking it. He's not a caring person. He's a terrible monster. And I'm just sitting here going, I just want to get out. Like, you really don't want to get into it with this dude. Like, I already know. You know what I mean? And so I was telling the agencies, I go, no, there's too much criminal conduct here. Oh, you need to call the cop. I go, oh no, the cops are gang members. You don't know about that? Okay, so let me tell you. And then, so they're acting like that's crazy information. I go, you know how funny this is? Is that in the middle of this, LASD gets outed, right, as gang members. And I go, see, I told you. I go, I don't know. But even now, as I'm telling them that also LAPD, so that hasn't been really outed yet, even though people all know, okay? So I'm like, yeah, because they came over. What do? Yeah, so there was this whole thing to it. So they're like, just call the cops. Like, they think the magical pill to this whole problem is call the cops. I don't know what mentality these affluent white women are going on about. Just call the cops. Yeah, this is their way to push off everything and gaslight you to act like there's no problem. And then totally ignore that is also a problem area, and they're trying to make people homeless. That's what happened here. They came together and try to throw people out and present that they were going to arrest them. I cannot believe they said that. I honestly have their cards and the little notation right there. You said trespassing and arrest? Nobody's trespassing here. Can Michael Moore and these piles of shit come on over here and show me where a single human here trespassed? But I will show you your officers, and I will show you that these three criminals, all three of y'all, got together and decided to break laws together. So I'm not bothered. I mean, you know what I mean? I got my backup. But I'm just saying, this is the conduct, and I'm telling the agency that conduct. And then they forced me to stay. They wouldn't let me leave. We don't like how you're talking to me. You said the word shit. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to be saying a lot more than shit. I'm so glad that my lawyers don't try to mute me. The one thing in my cases when I deal with lawyers, I've never had them say, don't talk, don't say this thing, don't do any of that. I just say it as it is. Because if your case is truthful, there's nothing in that that's going to get me in trouble because it's all based on the truth. I don't need to make up shit to try to make myself sound innocent. Or make myself sound, make up something that's not even true. It's true, and it's actually, there's more worse things in it than I think most of the time when I'm talking about things. And the people here, they don't even care about background things. They don't care about anything. They put everybody in danger. It's like, why the hell is there people from prison and freaking, well, here's why it's a problem, okay? So, well, first of all, I'm a victim of crime, mostly just some pile of shit men. I don't need no rapist around me. That's number one. Or domestic violence piles of shit. Two, there's been children on this property the entire time. He's putting criminals next to children. The mother in that is also just as guilty, but they had CPS on them. There's a lot to that one. But there was another individual here that was beating the crap out of somebody all the time. And they were on this property, and there was children here too as well at some point. And yeah, so nobody's doing any of that. They're just lumping them all here together and putting us all in danger. Mostly if you have a human trafficker here and some drug activity and things that I shouldn't be hearing and all kinds of other crap. There shouldn't have been a lot of traffic on this property at all. There's also a noise ordinance, so like after 10, people are supposed to shut the fuck up. There's a lot of things. So, and that's even in the lease, even with the sound thing, but that's a general law, just generally in LA, probably anywhere you live. So, I mean, you're talking about all these different things. It's an accumulation of everybody just breaking the law left and right. So it's just like a nonstop thing. Like there's no space to even fucking breathe. And nobody's doing anything. Everybody's sitting around getting paid. Like, what is LAPD getting paid for? To make up crimes that somebody's trespassing? I don't know. What was that? Did you get a kickback from the owner? I mean, I don't know. I have a question. So, I've never seen that. Like, no, I didn't see that. And I go, thank God it wasn't on me. But luckily I witnessed it because it's just explaining some further issues. Like it's more extended. Like, like this thing's going with you, but other people and what they're doing and how they're getting away with it. So I'm explaining how they're getting away with it. So they got away with it because the higher up protected them and promoted it, and then in internal affairs then they protected it and then wouldn't even do an investigation on it, even though they come over here. He's like, I got my cam on. And I'm like, well, you're breaking the law. So I don't know. You got your cam on? But what is the purpose of having the cam if somebody's blocking us from getting it examined? So it's all bullshit. It's such a shit show. It's a shit show. So that's why I was like, wow, I don't know. The person when I dealt with internal, I said was a female and she fake as fuck. And yeah, there's lots of her too. But she didn't make no comments like that. She be acting stupid as shit. Well, you can't figure out that we had a criminal LAPD officer that I lived with. Oh, you couldn't figure out anything in that? Even though I have all the copies of that. And there is I believe there is a 911 call on that. A couple maybe. I was like, maybe. I mean, we called. They came out. We can't figure it out. Found it. I was like, I don't know how you get to that, woman. You need to get the fuck out of there. So those are people you need to get rid of because they're gang members. I don't know what her problem is. That was weird. She's the one that sent the document to a strange place. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's on your side. Yeah. So we had her up in there. She's an old woman. I don't know how old she is now, but I don't know. Yes, indeed. There's some very shaded characters up in there. It just has not been cleaned out. And neither has the LASD thing. That has not even close to being cleaned out. They're trying to sweep it under, like, oh, it's just a few guys with some tattoos. I go, nope, the area that I'm saying, which I was one of the first people to talk about this topic, has not even been touched. Because raping a bunch of women is totally fine with LA County. Who covered that up? A bunch of Dems. I was like, wow. Wow. They're getting caught left and right. Oh, we're the good people. We're the ones out here trying to help everybody out. Oh, we throw people in shitholes. And then we call them crazy, and then we ignore it. Yeah, there's shit right there. Oh, we're these rich people. It's like, love and kindness. Be kind. Don't get mad at me. If you're mad at me, you're evil. Oh, that's them. I cannot even deal with it anymore. Love and kindness. And they're the most evil, vile, wretched pieces of shit, fake, fraud humans ever. You got caught all in the middle of this. If you cared about fire victims, you wouldn't have been throwing them in the street. You wouldn't be degrading homeless people. You wouldn't be doing any of those things. You want to talk about racism? That homeless crisis and the housing crisis has everything to do with that stuff. So don't come up in here, you white women, and start sitting there fake presenting and going, if you didn't vote for Kamala, you're a racist. Go to hell. I don't care if you got black children that you adopted. It don't mean that you're still not a pile of shit. You don't know shit. You're fighting to sit there and promote other people to live like this. So yeah, they were trying to do all that. I go, but guess who? It's coming out of billionaires' mouths. Even these white women, these billionaire white women who are fake as hell. Oh, and one last note, which has nothing to do with any of this, because I don't even want to do another thing on it. Do you guys remember when Taylor Swift kind of went off on her affluent white self and got us all to remove ourselves from Spotify? Do you see what happened? It's self-serving. It's not a thing where it didn't affect anybody else. Because for her, she has other people doing the work for her, unlike the rest of us who actually do that work ourselves in behind the scene. So not everybody's, rich and privileged to where they can get their shit put back on. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and then she becomes the number one thing over there. I go, yeah, see, it's all a plot. It's a business move. She don't care shit about you. She's privileged, affluent, and she's bullshit. So she's the safe girl. That's why I'm saying, I go, that shit's bullshit. Don't listen to any of them. And she don't run her business. That's just it. I go, that was the crappiest thing ever. And I had forgot about it till the other night. And then last night when I was going through it, I went into my account because I was like, is there even a way to go back? I mean, no. Not that I even care that much on this other thing right now, but I was just like, oh, that's why I lost so much money. I lost so much money. I was looking at it and I go, you know how effed up this is? I'm making money elsewhere, on other things. But I was like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, it's about 40% of the income for most artists. I go, yeah. There were some additions to that story that, now mind you, I made a choice on my own for some different reasons at that time, but the influence of that, um yeah, so an argument wasn't presented properly to us to was something that would have got me not to do that. It was a bad move, it totally was. But I blame I'm like I blame Krusty White, billionaire. You see that? It's so evil because the conduct's not about us. Like, did anybody get paid more? I mean, no. Did any of these other things? All it did was cause attention for her, and everybody thinking she's this like total hero to something that she's not. If you're fighting for an income thing, you better see some changes, and it should be for everybody. And if you're asking to do something for people that are lower income than you, which is everybody else, to make sure that what if those actions would harm them. So she doesn't think about anybody but herself. And for me, when I'm going through this, yes, like I'm talking about the gentrification, all that stuff, I'm aware. And so you don't want to be pushing something where it causes something like that. What we're talking about is the bare minimum standards of living that is law, and it's not even being held up. Like this is the additions to stuff like that. At no time should I be getting charged $25,000 for a shithole that's not up to code when the general pricing out in this area, like in the suburbs, you're talking in areas that there's a lot of poverty and things like that. Why would it be 25K or whatever it is, that they're trying to go on right now for something that's a pile of shit versus in somewhere in the suburbs where it has more higher income people, it's more of the mid class, and that the average rent there is, I've seen it even at 16. Actually, I found a place for 1250. I found a studio for 1250, you guys. So, but I wouldn't say that's the average, but that's probably about the lowest end is that 1250. But when you're looking at the comps, because you're looking at the comps, and then what those comps entail, which is a clean new unit, an updated unit, new flooring, a kitchen, but it doesn't have to be a rich neighborhood. Like it's not any of that. It just everything is clean, new, refreshed. I mean, because that flooring, it's not like the flooring's really expensive. It just looks nice. Okay. So they redo that. It's not all old like 1980s carpet, nothing like that. So everything's updated, and then it has like gyms and pools and things like that. Those comps are around 1700, even 16 something, to around 22, even up to a 2 bedroom. And they have balconies and everything. Like it's proper living. Now, some of these places I have read have roaches. Almost every apartment here has roaches because the health department doesn't give a shit. That shouldn't be going on. That's another issue, but that's another thing. That's why I didn't even want to live in apartments for so long, because the majority of the places that had infestations have been apartments. For that thing, depends on how badly infested they are. Oh God. Yeah, but again, that's another issue, and those need to be taken care of. Like that's supposed to be taken care of. But it shouldn't be a thing because I get somebody to go clean up the roach problem that it entails them to jack up the rent and throw everybody out, and only rich people can rent there. No, it's supposed to be them doing what they're supposed to be doing for that income bracket, and it needs to stay at that standard, right? Right there.